Aries, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're going to get into a read for you guys for the month of April. So your monthly April 2022 reading. This is going to be, I can feel, maybe a little bit controversial in some ways, so I don't know what that means, so let's get into it. Yeah, we're just going to start the read right off with our oracle here. This is going to tell us what the overall energy is for the entire reading today. So this is a general read for the entire Aries collective. So where it is general, it's for many, many people. If there's specific messages here that do not resonate whatsoever with your situation, it simply means it was meant for someone else here in our community, and that's perfectly okay because we do want to make sure that everyone is receiving the messages that they're intended to, right? Dates as well are always flexible with readings just because the energies can hit us all at different times. Time's so very, very flexible. Time is really an illusion. So for me to put a time on the reading, it will be April 2022. You might notice, the first week in May is when these energies are really, really hitting you, for example. All right, let's see what's in store for our Aries collective. What is the overall message? Your overall message is self-love. Look at this. Self-love. This picture is pretty clear indication. You guys are, and when I said controversial, I think what really is coming up for me in a way to verbalize it is feeling kind of like in victim mode. It's just the general energy that I'm getting here. So with the overall energy being self-love, you're kind of moving towards, okay, this is all normal, natural, I'm human, I'm going to move towards maybe forgiving myself for getting into situations, maybe forgiving myself for not taking a move on a situation. Whatever it is for you, it really can definitely be about changing that mindset from being in a victim mentality to moving it into a self-love. So forgiving the self, allowing yourself to be human, allowing yourself to make mistakes, whatever it is. This is so important that you are your own best friend during this time. So whatever you would tell your best friend when they're going through something difficult, tell yourself that. Tell yourself that internally. Yeah, it's a beautiful energy to come out. But like I said, with that controversial energy, I think maybe even you're starting to see a pattern, right? And you're tired of the pattern and you're just deciding, okay, I'm going to go a little bit not easier on myself, but I'm going to be real with myself. I'm going to really step back, have a look at whatever the situation is. I'm really going to allow myself to treat myself as I would treat others, right? And then we're going to see more details here with the cards. Let's get into the tarot. Messages did you want to have come forward? Okay, Aries. Let's just take one more opportunity opportunity here. See if there's anything else that needs to come forward. Any knowledge, wisdom, important messages or updates for Aries Collective. All right, so we have 1, 2. You have 2 major arcana. Not an intense energy. I think it's more or less just kind of the energy that's going to get underneath you and kind of just propel you forward. That is the intensity. Just that little boost maybe that is needed on your part. So we're going to start out with a 3. No, a 2. 2 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles, first card up in your read. There is a butterfly right there in the middle of the card. So you could definitely be getting to the point where you're stretched to the limit. You're stretched to the limit. Usually pentacles relate to our material aspects in life. It can be your financial abundance. I do feel strongly, however, if you are able to carefully manage things right now, you'll have enough money to pave your way, okay? I have a bit of a runny nose, so sorry, I'm going to apologize for that in advance. Yeah, so I feel like it's really just about making a plan. It's really about making a plan and sticking to the plan. I do feel that you do have the intelligence to do it, and now it's all about getting the motivation to do it, right? So also keeping in mind during this time that, and I shouldn't have to say this, life is so unpredictable. So you're going to need to leave that wiggle room where there could be other demands on your time. So that could be a really big message for someone. Maybe someone struggling with the time to get everything done, which is impacting finances in a negative way. Yeah. So if that is the case, it's a really big indication that you have something in your personal life, so in your domestic situation, where it's taking too much of your time and you need a little bit of fairness, you need a little bit of give and take there. So maybe you're taking care of all of the chores in the home and it's time that someone else maybe kind of step up and help you out with that, so that the burden's not all on your time, right? Judgment card, major arcana. This can be you. Definitely self-judgment comes to mind in this reading. You're seeking, this is a big, big, big indication of forgiveness. So I'm glad that came up. It's a major arcana. It's a really big indication that if you're going through that time where you're judging yourself, you're looking to forgive yourself for past mistakes. This does indicate definitely past, not current. This definitely indicates past. So you might be, it's almost like there's a regeneration that needs to happen here. Some kind of it might relate to that butterfly there as well. So some type of transformation. So you need to kind of give yourself a new, how do I say, maybe you're scrapping your look, for example, and you're, redoing your hairstyle, or you're revamping your style in general, or you're trying different things that are out of your character. It's just kind of changing things about the self that are really going to get you moving towards where you need to go and where you need to be. So by making those little changes, it feels as though you're really going to have a lot of momentum moving forward, but it's always getting started, right? It's always that first step forward. So I think you really need to get up and work on the motivation, and it's not hard, or I'm sorry, it's not easy during this time. I understand that. I think we all do. Things are crazy, for sure, happening out in the world, worldwide events, and so on. So with that being said, Nine of Wands. You guys are going to need to be resourceful, right? This is another indication. So this comes out immediately following the major arcana. This is another indication that your time is going to start, if it hasn't already, it's going to start to be in demand. So you're going to have a lot of pressure. You're going to have I do feel as though you have resources to fall back upon. I do feel that you have the mental stability to move through this difficult time. You have the support system around you if you need that as well. So the big factor here is to get the motivation. So how do we work towards motivating ourselves? I think that you just really need to make a plan. I think that if you have a plan in place, you're really going to enjoy seeing what that plan can bring to your life. And I think what you're going to do is you're going to go through the process, and maybe enjoy the process more so than enjoying the end result, right? So it's not always about, the end result. It's about the journey. And I think you're really picking up on this during this time. Three of Cups. Healing is needed on a collective level, for sure. Definitely can't be ignored. I do feel that the healing is, again, forgiveness of the self. It's a potential for growth. You're in whatever area of your life, but this growth is really going to propel you into a new phase or a new stage in your life. And it's not always easy letting go of the past, or you're just starting, maybe really to, you realized it, but you haven't allowed yourself to accept. Maybe you're accepting during the month of April that things are just, they're not ever going to go back to what they were. And that's something that, people need to kind of grieve the loss of that happening in their life, right? And as a result, that really does mean that a healing is needed. A healing needs to come about. And the thing is no one else can do this type of work for us. This is something we have to do for ourselves. Major Arcana, the Strength card. So it's giving you some extra patience during this time, some extra confidence during this time. Generally, you're a pretty confident individual. This is just giving you that little extra bit of courage. That's a really, really big word here in this read. Yeah, it's There's a message that I don't want to miss it. So this is soul level work here. I don't know if you see the eyes are red on the horse, right? So it's soul level work here. You are understanding that there's spiritual consequences. You're understanding, yeah, that the actions that you're making going forward are going to be need to be made with strength, a moral virtue, um, and it's the big message here is really it's more about empowering the self. So empowering yourself, not being that in the mentality of victim mentality, so empowering the self, and at the same time you also have such a great ability, of empowering others as well. So it's a shame for you to kind of give up on that. And I see that it's just a matter of getting back into the routine, right? Getting a plan in place, following through, making those baby steps on the plan. Make a lot of wiggle room for the plan as well, because it rarely ever does, but it's never going to follow perfectly how you would like the plan to follow through. So just have some wiggle room there. Sometimes things can switch up. Sometimes things can be more challenging. Sometimes things can actually be better than you anticipated. So wiggle room is what I'm getting there. But that's great that you have King of Cups energy, because it's intuitively going to give you this ability to problem solve, right? When this comes up, the King's generally someone who is a good negotiator and somebody that just exudes authority, right? Um, yeah, it's just that energy of wise, natural, kind of like peacekeeping energy. It can represent some feminine or masculine energy, sorry, in your life, where you have very supportive energies coming towards you, so a supportive partner. But when I see this, this does show me that problems will be resolved. So that's a really nice indication to see that here in the read for you guys. But a really, really odd message coming forward is, and I don't know how to put it, but it's about allowing yourself, allowing, that's a big word, allowing yourself to be happy by living from the heart space. Be happy, and that doesn't mean let your head and your logic completely disappear. It just means primarily living from a heart space. And I think that's a pretty big message here as well. And the last card that came up for you guys is, this would be Page of Wands. So it's just a reminder here to be cautious, right, as you're going forward again. So again, be flexible. Know that there's outside forces that are always impacting our situation, right? Like everything in the universe is connected. So whatever actions you make are going to be a ripple effect in someone else's life, and whatever actions someone else makes in your life is going to be a ripple effect. It's just everything is connected. And I'm not going to get too much into that, but I think it's very much understanding that there could be outside forces that are trying to work things towards their own benefit, right? And that's pretty normal in today's society. And you realize that, so it's really about just remain flexible. But I do feel as though there's going to be matters that are going to come up, and you weren't, more so matters coming up, and you weren't anticipating to have to deal with them right away. You thought maybe you could put them off a bit more. So, yeah. And I think you feel this. When it happens, you accept it as a result. Um, don't allow yourself to get bored. Aries, you do not want to get bored, because that could get you caught up into I don't know how to say it, but into like the negative gossipy side of the world. You don't have time for that. You don't have the energy for that at this time. You really, really are focusing on the self, and you're not going to feel sorry about that. Um, you're doing what you need to do for you. You're doing what you know you need to do for you. You are doing you're doing a phenomenal job at moving through this energy. Uh, it's not easy, and it really does show your resolve. So you should be proud of yourself, because you continually have the challenges coming towards you, and you just keep knocking them down, right? One after another. So you really have to kind of pat yourself on the back as well. Sometimes we forget to do that. All right, so that's the end of your guys' read for April. I'm going to go ahead and get an inspirational message here to end the read today. One final message. For our Aries collective for April 2022. One final message, please, Spirit. Oh, this one fell right over onto the floor almost. To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. So you might be focusing on taking those, few minutes in the morning to the self, and allowing yourself to have a meditation practice of some kind. I I can't stress for me, myself, in my own personal life, how incredibly helpful sitting in stillness has allowed very positive changes to take place in my life. It's it's a discipline that allows your mind to shut off all of the unnecessary noise, and really allow for something higher than yourself to come in, right? And I think that the discipline of that is really going to help you towards getting the motivation factor that was in the read as well. So that's it for you guys. Thank you so much for making it until the end of this read. I appreciate you all so, so very much. It's such a humbling thing to be able to do these reads for you guys. Anyone here that's new, welcome. I'm so happy and grateful to have you here in the community. So until next time, make sure you guys are filling your own cup, right? You can't go out and shine your light into the world unless you're filling your own cup first. And I do feel that you have a lot to offer, and you're just really, right now, you're just kind of going through with baby steps, and that's okay, because you just don't want to stop, is the message, I think. So, yeah, make sure you're taking care of yourself, your health, your mental health, mind, body, and soul. It's all connected, right? So please take care of yourself and your loved ones, especially during these times. And I hope to see you guys all again very, very soon. Bye.